Nether, Nomad, the Lost Block Explorer. In the sprawling, vibrant world of Blockburg, where colossal skyscrapers made of polished obsidian pierced the pixelated sky, and bustling marketplaces hummed with the cheerful sounds of countless blockfolk trading their wares, lived a young explorer named Alex. Alex possessed an insatiable curiosity, a spirit that craved the thrill of discovery beyond the familiar streets and towering builds. Maps were Alex's favorite stories, and uncharted territories, the most exciting puzzles. Rumors had recently swept through the Explorers Guild about a newly discovered portal, shimmering with an unearthly magenta glow, said to lead to a forgotten corner of the Nether. Not the usual crimson expanses familiar to seasoned adventurers, but a realm of deeper mysteries, untouched by the common trade routes or gas-haunted fortresses. It was whispered to hold ancient, untold resources and secrets. Alex felt an irresistible pull towards this uncharted dimension, a silent promise of an adventure unlike any other. One crisp Blockburg morning, armed with a sturdy pickaxe, a few packed sustenance blocks, and a heart thrumming with anticipation, Alex stood before the enigmatic portal. Its shimmering surface pulsed with an otherworldly energy, beckoning. With a deep breath, Alex stepped forward, the world around dissolving into a vortex of swirling magenta and shadowy black. But something felt wrong. The usual smooth transition of the gentle hum that accompanied a dimensional leap was replaced by a jarring, violent lurch. The vibrant magenta flickered erratically, replaced by blinding flashes of orange and deep violet. Alex felt a sudden, inexplicable shift, as if pulled not just forward, but sideways, through unknown currents of raw dimensional energy. A split second of vertigo, a jarring impact, and then silence. Alex lay sprawled on a searing crimson plain, the air thick with the smell of sulfur and superheated rock. The heat was immediate, oppressive, pressing down like a physical weight. Slowly, Alex pushed up, eyes scanning the alien landscape. This was certainly the Nether, but unlike any part Alex had ever seen. Towering spires of jagged, dark rock clawed at the smoky ceiling, their surfaces glowing faintly with an internal heat. Rivers of molten lava flowed sluggishly through deep ravines, casting an orange glow that painted the entire scene in hues of fiery red and oppressive shadow. Strange, glowing fungi pulsed with faint light in the crevices, offering the only splashes of color beyond the fiery palette. A chill, despite the heat, snaked its way down Alex's spine. The portal, the very gateway that had brought Alex here, was gone, vanished. There was no shimmering magenta rectangle, no faint residual energy, just an endless expanse of alien, unforgiving rock. A wave of stark realization washed over Alex, stranded, alone, in an unknown, perilous part of the Nether. A feeling of profound isolation settled, heavier than any block Alex had ever lifted. Panic threatened to bubble up, but Alex pushed it down, a small spark of determination flickering in the vast darkness of uncertainty. There had to be a way. There always was. The immediate priority became clear: survival. The air was thick and acrid, and the thought of limited sustenance blocks weighed heavily. Water, the most fundamental resource in Blockburg, was non-existent here, replaced entirely by deadly flowing lava. Alex's traditional pickaxe felt almost useless against the unyielding, superheated netherrack, barely chipping away at its dense surface. A distant, mournful cry echoed through the air. A large, blocky creature. A goss, perhaps, but it sounded different. More ancient, its wail carrying a deeper sorrow. Alex instinctively ducked behind a gnarled spire of blackstone, heart hammering. The creature drifted lazily in the oppressive distance, seemingly uninterested in the tiny block figure below. but its presence underscored the sheer alienness of this realm. Days blurred into a pattern of cautious exploration and desperate resourcefulness. Alex learned to move with the silent grace of a shadow, navigating treacherous ledges, overlooking bubbling lava lakes, scaling craggy cliffs, using sheer willpower and well-placed jumps. The pickaxe, while inefficient, slowly yielded small quantities of netherrack and chunks of rough quartz. Alex discovered that the ubiquitous glowstone, when struck carefully, could provide a faint temporary illumination, but it disintegrated quickly. Shelter was improvised in small, naturally formed caves, blocked off with piled netherrack. The heat, ever present, was both a threat and a strange comfort in the endless night of this dimension. Sleep was fitful, punctuated by the distant roars of unseen beasts and the rhythmic gurgle of lava. Alex's mind raced, constantly calculating, strategizing, how to build a new portal. Obsidian was the key, but where to find it in this desolate region, and how to light it without flint and steel. Resources utterly absent in this fiery dimension. One parched, exhausting afternoon, while scrambling over a particularly jagged ridge, Alex spotted something truly extraordinary. Nestled within a deep, shadowed crater, pulsating with an eerie, deep blue light, was a cluster of unique, crystalline blocks. They were unlike any obsidian Alex had ever encountered, infused with an internal shimmer, as if holding captured starlight. These were not the common dull black blocks. These were Netherheart Obsidian, glowing with an almost magical energy. A surge of exhilarating hope coursed through Alex. This was it. This had to be the key. Mining the Netherheart Obsidian was a grueling task. Alex's simple pickaxe shattered on the first strike. Desperation fueled a new surge of creativity. Alex remembered the sharpness of the largest quartz shards found scattered on the ground. With painstaking effort, using smaller, tougher rocks, Alex began to chip and grind the sharpest quartz into a makeshift, reinforced cutting tool, binding it to a sturdy piece of gnarled nether root, using thin fibrous strands from a unique, tough fungus. It was crude, but effective. Hours of relentless chipping and prying later, Alex had enough Netherheart Obsidian for a portal frame. The next challenge, igniting the portal, seemed insurmountable. Alex sat amidst the newly arranged Netherheart Obsidian frame, feeling a familiar wave of despair. There was no flint, no steel. Then, a memory surfaced. The strange, glowing fungi. Alex had noticed how some of them, when growing near veins of exposed soul sand, seemed to pulse with a slightly more intense energy, almost as if drawing power from the haunted ground. An idea, audacious and risky, sparked. Alex carefully collected several of the most vibrant, energy-rich fungi, along with a small pile of soul sand. The plan was a wild gamble. If the fungi absorbed ambient energy, perhaps a concentrated amount, when placed, just so, within the portal frame, and combined with the eerie properties of soul sand, could create the necessary spark. Working swiftly, Alex carefully arranged the glowing fungi within the base of the Netherheart Obsidian frame, then sprinkled the soul sand over them. Nothing. Alex slumped, defeated. But then, a flicker of inspiration. What if it wasn't just placement, but activation? Alex remembered seeing peculiar, shimmering heat vents around the crater where the Netherheart Obsidian was found. Could that be the catalyst? With renewed vigor, Alex scrambled back to the crater, braving another treacherous climb. There, amidst the vents, Alex discovered small, naturally formed geodes containing tiny, superheated ember shards, glowing faintly with an internal orange light. They were impossibly hot to the touch, but Alex wrapped one in a thick, insulating piece of tough, leathery fungus collected earlier. Back at the portal frame, Alex carefully placed the ember shard atop the arrangement of glowing fungi and soul sand. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, a faint internal glow began to emanate from the fungi. The soul sand started to shimmer, almost vibrating. The ember shard pulsed. Suddenly, with a low hum that reverberated through the very bedrock, the fungi flared, drawing on the intense heat of the ember shard and the ethereal properties of the soul sand. A crackle of raw energy arced across the Netherheart Obsidian frame. A brilliant swirling magenta light erupted in the center of the frame, solidifying into the familiar beckoning portal. It pulsed with an undeniable energy, a beacon of hope in the fiery wastes. Alex felt a wave of profound relief, a weariness beyond physical exhaustion. The long, terrifying ordeal was finally over. Without hesitation, Alex stepped through, the heat and sulfurous air giving way to the cool, crisp air of Blockburg. The familiar sights and sounds of the bustling city washed over Alex like a soothing balm. Alex looked different. A faint glow seemed to emanate from within, and the rough, makeshift tools, still clutched tightly, felt like trophies. Alex's story spread like wildfire through Blockburg, a testament to courage, creativity, and unyielding perseverance. The tale of the Nether nomad, who braved the deepest, most dangerous parts of a forgotten dimension, using only wits and the strange resources found there, inspired many. Alex had not only survived, but had also discovered that even in the most hostile environments, imagination and a stubborn refusal to give up could forge a path where none seemed to exist. The true treasure wasn't just the return to Blockburg, but the realization that the greatest adventure lies not in where you go, but in how resourceful and determined you are when facing the unknown.